What up, world? R.I.C.H coming right back at you. And today, we got to talk about the latest developments with Hernandez Govan. And I'm going to say this right from the start. When life gives you a second chance after being connected to the murder of Young Dolph, the smart move is to get quiet, get boring, and get the hell out the way. But from what we've been seeing with Govan, it looks like he came home moving like a man who didn't understand how close he came to losing the rest of his damn life. So before we talk about what's happening now, let's remind people who this man is and why his name brings so much attention.
Ladies and gentlemen, have you reached a verdict?
Yes.
State of Tennessee versus Hernandez Govan, count 1. We, the jury, find the defendant Hernandez Govan not guilty in count 1 of the indictment. State of Tennessee versus Hernandez Govan, count 2. We, the jury, find the defendant Hernandez Govan not guilty in count 2 of the indictment. Ma'am?
Court's in session.
Ma'am? Ms. Johnson, is this your verdict? Is this your verdict?
Yes.
Is this your verdict?
Yes, ma'am.
Is this your verdict?
Yes.
Is this your verdict?
Yes, Your Honor.
Is this your verdict? Is this your verdict?
Yes.
Is this your verdict?
Yes, Your Honor.
Is this your verdict?
Yes.
Is this your verdict?
Yes.
Is this your verdict? Is this your verdict?
Yes, ma'am.
Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, I want to thank you for your service this week.
A not guilty verdict is powerful. Legally, that means the state did not prove its case beyond a reasonable doubt. And nobody should pretend that a jury verdict doesn't matter. But being found not guilty don't mean the world forgets what you were accused of. It don't mean the city moves on like nothing never happened. And it definitely don't mean you get to walk around like some untouchable street figure when your name was attached to one of the most painful cases Memphis has ever seen. That is where maturity should have kicked in. A grown man with any sense would have said, I beat the case, I'm going home, and I'm not giving the police, the streets, or the internet any reason to put my name in nothing. Instead, we start seeing Govan back in the mix, still moving like a local legend who thinks the consequences are for other people. And that's how you turn a second chance into a warning sign. Because when the public sees you survive a case that big and then you still end up in drama, people stop looking at you like a man who learned something. They start looking at you like a man who thinks he can't be touched. And life has a way of humbling people who think that way. I'm not celebrating nobody getting hands put on. I'm not here to glorify violence. And I'm not going to sit here and act like a public ambush is some kind of honorable moment. But I am going to say this. When you walk around with a name that heavy in the city, you can't be surprised when the energy around you is heavy too. Young Dolph was not just a rapper to people. He was family, he was a boss, he was a symbol, and he was a man a lot of people still feel was taken from the city in a way he didn't deserve. So even after an acquittal, Govan's name still comes with emotion attached to it. That is why trying to play the tough guy after the verdict is stupid. There's a difference between moving with confidence and moving like you daring the world to try you. And if that altercation showed anything, it showed that whatever image Govan may have had locally, there are still people who don't fit him the way he think they should. That's the problem trying to live life off an old street reputation. Eventually, somebody's gonna call your bluff. And when they do, the internet is gonna watch it happen in HD. Then, right after the public embarrassment, the legal trouble pulled up.
New at 4, the man who was acquitted last year in the high-profile murder case of Memphis rapper Young Dolph is now facing new charges.
Hernandez Govan is charged in connection to allegations he threatened an ex-girlfriend last week. WREG's Streeta Patterson with what happened in court and what's next.
Donning a red gel uniform, something you often see with those considered high profile, was Hernandez Govan Friday. 3 members with the Shelby County Detention Response Team, also known as DRT, a specially trained tactical unit, escorted the 46-year-old into court.
I'm happy about your charges.
It is here where he faced Judge Greg Gilbert, who informed him of what he's now facing following his arrest the day before.
You are charged with harassment and stalking. Each of those offenses.
What landed Govan in custody reportedly happened last week. Your news leaders were able to get a copy of the police report filed after Govan's ex-girlfriend called for help. The report summarizes what she alleged happened, causing her to, quote, fear for her safety and the safety of her child. His former girlfriend told police Govan made phone calls and texts threatening to post to social media explicit videos. It's also alleged he threatened to have someone shoot up her home. After officers and National Guard members reportedly checked the area, it's alleged Govan sent yet another message saying, quote, the National Guard can't save you. They can't be there forever. Well, Friday's arraignment did not take forever. In fact, it was over within a matter of minutes. But things are far from resolved as final directives were given.
You will be ordered to stay away from the alleged victim.
This was followed by the judge informing the accused bond was set at $4,000. Govan left the same way he came, flanked by extra security, headed back to lockup. Govan telling the court he could pay that $4,000 bond. The judge has since ordered him back to court Monday. We'll keep you updated on what happens next.
This is where you really got to start questioning his decision making. According to reports, Govan was accused of repeatedly harassing a woman, threatening to shoot up her residence, and threatening to post explicit pictures online. Now, these are allegations, and he still has to defend himself in court. But if you Hernandez Govan, why are you even anywhere near a situation like this? Why are you texting, calling, threatening, arguing, or doing anything that could put your freedom back in somebody else's hands? This is what I mean when I say some people don't respect a second chance until it starts disappearing. A $4,000 bond may have looked small at first. It may have felt like something he could walk away from. But sometimes the first charge is just the door opening. And when the federal authorities step into something that started as a local domestic case, that tells me that they've been watching Govan. Because local trouble is one thing. Federal trouble is a different animal.
In other news tonight, Hernandez Govan, the man acquitted of being the mastermind behind the murder of Memphis rapper Young Dolph, sits in a federal lockup tonight, charged with cyberstalking. His attorney talked exclusively with Action News 5 Joyce Peterson tonight about new charges. And Joyce is now live for us. Joyce, does he think the feds went after him because he beat the rap in the Young Dolph case?
Well, that's certainly a question many are asking tonight, Andrew. Attorney Claiborne Ferguson stopped short of saying that Govan's latest legal troubles are payback for the Shelby County DA's office losing its case against him in the Young Dolph murder trial. But he said it is, quote, highly suspicious.
Do you think he was the mastermind of Young Dolph's murder?
Claiborne Ferguson is Hernandez Govan's new attorney for the new cyberstalking charges he faces. Arrested June 11th by Memphis police on state stalking and harassment charges, a misdemeanor, Govan was released the next day on a $4,000 bond. 12 hours later, he was arrested by federal authorities on the same charges, which carry a 5-year prison sentence in the federal system.
That is wildly unusual, especially on something that it would be charged and is charged as a misdemeanor in state court. Somebody had to really go out of their way in order to get that done.
Govan was acquitted of murder charges last year in the shooting death of Young Dolph, accused by prosecutors of being the mastermind behind the crime. Telling Action News 5,
it's hard to explain the feeling of knowing you got your life back. And it's one of the best feelings I've ever experienced, and I'm just happy to be free.
Govan isn't free anymore after a federal magistrate ordered him held in custody, believing him to be a real danger to his ex-girlfriend, who had Memphis police and the National Guard protecting her home and her child. The feds say he threatened to shoot up her home because she owed him $540, calling and texting saying, "The National Guard can watch your house all day. I don't give an expletive about no police, National Guard, or nothing." The criminal complaint said Govan also threatened to post explicit photos of her on social media, all the threats made on the same day.
One of the things that we were looking at in the bond hearing was whether or not alcohol was involved, and that as the day went on, he lost more control over his decision making.
Ferguson's focus now, helping his client beat these charges. just like Govan did in the Young Dolph case.
Do you think he was the mastermind behind Young Dolph's murder?
I don't know, but I do support the jury's verdict and believe that they came to the correct decision.
Ferguson also tells me tonight that Manny Aurora, the high-profile attorney out of Atlanta who successfully represented Govan in the Young Dolph murder trial, may be asked to help out in this case, too. The next step is asking the judge to reverse her decision to keep him behind bars. Live tonight in downtown Memphis, Joyce Peterson, Action News 5.
This is the part that should have scared him more than any street altercation. The feds do not usually jump into a case for entertainment. When the federal system gets involved, the room gets smaller, the rules get tighter, and the margin for street games starts disappearing. Action 5 News reported that Govan was charged with cyberstalking after the incident, and that he could face up to 5 years in prison if convicted. That means the conversation is no longer about a low bond or a court appearance. Now you're talking about federal custody, federal paperwork, and a case that may be looking at patterns, messages, threats, and conduct in a serious way. And this is why I keep coming back to the same point. When you get a second chance, you do not play with communications, threats, women, social media, or anything that can be screenshotted and put in a case file. You go home and you become boring on purpose. You let people wonder where you are instead of giving them reasons to report you. But some men get older and never get wiser. They still want to be feared. They still want to be seen. They still want people to think they have power in the streets. Even when the streets are the same place, they keep putting their ass back in the cell. That is not power. That is a man confused about what strength looks like at his age. At some point, you can't keep playing the tough guy role and then act shocked when tough guy consequences show up. And now we have this report about what may have happened while he was in federal custody.
Yeah. CEO King Munchie, man. We are live from the track hall, man. You gonna hear it here first, man. All you sucker type of motherfucking podcasters, man. You can't me, man. You can't me, man. Whack 100, man. You can't me, man. Yeah. Woody, sucker type. Me blocked, by the way, man. They can't handle a real motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? They block like they some. But anyway, man, Hernandez Govan, man, he got me blocked too. But don't even worry about it, though, because he got his own self blocked, man. Don't that in the pedophile right there. Feds to pick this motherfucker for cyberbullying, man. But that ain't the news, though. That's everybody, my mixtape, everybody got that news. You know what I'm saying? We ain't worried about that. But y'all don't know this, though. They done already whooped it, man. Man, they already got punched on. Soon he pulled up, man. They checked in, man. They might catch the pedophile, checked in PC, man. They whooped them. Get how they whoop them. They check in PC, too. Man, went down there to the PC like, I'm gonna be cool down at PC, man. Yeah, you know I gotta check in. He check in PC, man. He wanna check in. We gonna check in too. They done whooped him, and that's on my mama, man. It's going down, man. News you can use, man. Yeah, man. Real news, though, man. You know what I'm saying? Hey, man. You heard it here first. Yeah.
I want to be careful here because the jailhouse claims have to be called alleged until they confirm. A blogger saying something happened inside a facility does not automatically mean it happened. But even the possibility of that kind of report tells you how much heat is still around Govan's name. You can be acquitted and still not be acquitted in the minds of the people. That may not be fair legally, but in the real world, that's how cases follow you. And if Govan was really checked or pressed by people connected to Dolph, then that is another example of what happens when a man mistakes surviving the court for surviving the consequences of his reputation. Because the courtroom can say one thing, the streets can feel another way. And the internet can keep both stories alive until your name becomes a problem everywhere you go. That is why the smart move was peace, not more reasons for bloggers, federal agents, and street people to keep your name in rotation. But peace requires a man to let go of the image that made people fear him. And some men will rather lose their freedom than lose their image. That is what makes this story pitiful to me. Hernandez Govan had a moment where he could have walked away from one of the biggest cases in Memphis history and changed his life. He could have said, I got my life back and I'm not wasting it trying to prove I'm still somebody in the streets. Instead, we talking about him being confronted on camera, arrested on new charges, held in federal custody, and now reportedly dealing with more pressure behind the wall. That is what consequences look like when a man refuses to read the room. And the room was very clear. You were given a second chance. You were given freedom. You were given the opportunity to disappear from the headlines and live quietly. But if you come back trying to be the same street figure, life will eventually remind you that the streets don't retire you with respect. They usually retire you with embarrassment, prison time, or something worse. So my message is simple. If you survived a case that could have buried you, don't come home acting like you immortal. Don't confuse a not guilty verdict with a permission slip to keep living reckless. Because second chances are not just about what you escape. They are about what you become after you escape it. And right now, Hernandez Govan looks like a man who was handed his life back and still could not stop performing for a world that does not care if he loses his freedom again. Play tough if you want to. Play important if you want to. Play like that old rep still protects you if you want to. But when them consequences show up, don't act surprised that the game had a bill attached to it. But hey, that's just my opinion. What's yours? Like, comment, subscribe. Establish Rich. I'll be back with another one. Peace.